Hey guys, how's it going? I want to go over this Vice video that I seen. Thank you, Vice, for making it. I wouldn't be able to make it. Thank you so much. I want to throw my 2 cents to it. This video is essentially, they're saying it's about death penalty and victims, but I will have to disagree. I think this video is about corrupt government officials. Let's get into it.
For 3 months, we searched these hills looking for these kids. We had multiple airplanes to cover the land because it's so vast. Once there was no sign of them, we just had this feeling that they weren't above ground.
In December 2018, Bill Powell started searching for his son, and Amanda Hunt started searching for her niece. The teenagers had gone missing in the small mining town of Eureka, Utah.
Pretty positive that they were murdered here.
She kneeled next to the hole there, and then...
And people were demanding.
The bodies of 17-year-old Breezy Ottenson and her boyfriend, 18-year-old Riley Powell, were eventually found. They had been stabbed and thrown 100 feet into a mine shaft near the town. Police charged a man named Jared Baum with the murders. He has a long criminal history and is accused of kidnapping and killing the teenagers in a jealous rage after they visited his girlfriend. The case is now part of a debate over what justice looks like in a state that's wrestling with the death penalty.
What is justice? Justice is equalizing the scale. That's what justice is. The scale is neutral, but then somebody puts injustice on the scale. How do you fix that? The scale is like this. There is injustice over here. There is evil doing. There is wickedness. It already happened. There is no, time machine. You can't undo stuff. How do you fix this? The scale has to be equal. You have to put something on this side. You can't remove from this side. There is no time machine. On this side is a deed equivalent to this deed. Does that make sense? Death for death. Does that make sense?
When they first brought us to the prosecutor's office, they explained everything to us. And they said that he could possibly die for what he did.
Well, they asked us what we wanted.
And what did you say?
Capital punishment.
Death penalty, for sure. There's no rehabilitation that would work for him because he's proven that nothing works.
Here's the deal. This guy is talking from a very, popular American opinion. Rehabilitating evil people. Maybe it works. Maybe it works. There's a difference between an evil deed and an evil person.
So why keep babying him? Just take care of business.
The trial is set to start early next year, and Baum is pleading not guilty. State prosecutors did initially seek the death penalty. But then in September, the county attorney overseeing the case had a change of heart.
Seeking the death penalty seemed the right decision at the time, but upon further reflection, I am convinced that its costs far outweigh its benefits to the community as a whole.
Really? Because in my book, death penalty is 17 cents on 9 mil round. That's in my book. Could you help me understand this piece of shit right here, this fucking prosecutor? This video is not about death penalty. This video is not about that guy that murdered these two these two people. No, unfortunately, Vice missed. Vice, you had such a beautiful, great opportunity to talk about the corruption. The killer, the murderer, is not the only wicked person in this video. I think this person here, this bearded piece of shit, this right here, is just as corrupt, just as wicked, just as evil. Yes, he is not a killer, but you can be evil and wicked on, there's lots of opportunity for wickedness. Guys, what he is saying that the cost to the community, he's talking about financial cost, right? He's talking about financial cost. Hold on a second. I know what you're thinking, you clever son of a bitch. I know what the fuck you're thinking. I'm going to get to it. So the financial cost. So what he is saying, that keeping this guy in prison, for the rest of his life, and he's going to live out to be 70, 80, 90 years old. I mean, how long do you live when all you do is just eat, shit, and sleep? I mean, you're not working. You're not in danger. I mean, yes, in prison you might be in danger, but if you're not, there could be ways that you're not in danger. Okay, guys, let's say he's gonna be there for, let's say, 40 years, right? $100,000 a year, minimum $100,000 a year to keep this guy in prison, when in reality it's a lot more than that, but let's say it's $100,000 a year. $100,000 multiplied by 40, how much does that? That's $4 million. So this guy's solution is $4 million. $4 million. Where's that money gonna come out from? Somebody gotta pay for this. Where's it gonna come out from? Your money. Americans, it's gonna come out your fucking paychecks. When the government is pointing a gun at you and telling you, give me the money so I can build the road, build the hospitals and schools. You know what in reality the money is going for? This shit here. It's going for this shit. The amount of money that government spends on, infrastructure, roads, school, bridges, parks, is teeny tiny sliver compared to everything else, all the other corrupt and evil activities that they spend money on. My solution would be 17 cents. But apparently he thinks that $4 million is less than 17 cents. Guys, this guy, Utah motherfuckers, I'm talking about you, Utah people. You allowed this. This piece of shit is making a lot of fucking money doing very, very, very little work. Because you allow him to. Because you allow him to. Your government is sitting on their ass, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars a year per person. Because you allowed this. Because you allow this. How does he still have a job? How much longer can you sit around, jerk each other off, and watch sports while your corrupt government is running amok? How long? Hold on a second. We're not done just yet. I know some of you may be thinking the cost he's talking about is not a financial cost. No. Dan, you're just a shallow fucking Jew, and yes, I am. He's talking about moral cost, the societal cost. Really? So you're telling me that a wicked man is better for society in prison than dead? Really? This is the person that's mooching off your taxpayers' money because you allow him to. Oh, did I piss you off? Did I set a fucking fire under your ass? Well, what are you gonna do now? Well, go ahead and get in your car and drive to Walmart. Go get some crayons. Go get some Sharpies. Get poster board. Get some wooden pickets and go protest. Because you know what really fixes problems? Protesting. Make sure to go out and protest. Because woo boy, woo. You know what really fixes shit, right? Protesting. I mean, just look at World War II. You know what happened? When Hitler invaded countries, people protested. You know what happened when George Washington decided to make a difference? He protested. went out down to fucking Walmart, got them poster boards, and, woo, protesting, walking down the street like a fucking dumbass with a sign. You think that's what's gonna fucking change? You think that's what's gonna make a difference? Americans, how long will you be taking it up the ass? I mean, I understand if you're taking it up the ass from somebody that's like really powerful and you have no other option, you know, like other countries, right? But you're Americans. You have means to fix this situation. Chinese can't fix, you know, Chinese people cannot fix, or it's going to be very, very, very hard, almost impossible to fix their situation. Russians can't do it, you know, people in Arabic, you know, Afghanis can't do it, you know, people in, you know, in other countries, like, you know, let's Venezuela, that type of stuff. They can't fix the corrupt government. But America is maybe one of few countries that can actually fix the corrupt government. You can. All you have to do is grow a pair of fucking balls and take action for justice. Let's keep going here.
How did you feel when you found out the prosecutor would no longer be seeking the death penalty?
I mean, I feel he works for us and it's not his right to make that decision.
If you truly feel that, if you truly believe that, I don't know what this guy's name is. What do? Take action. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? How long will you be sitting on your ass? What did your, not mine, I'm a fucking foreigner, I'm not even from around this place. You know, I escaped to here. My forefathers, my grandfathers did not die for this country. My forefathers, my grandparents did not fight for this country. They are not buried here. Yours are. I'm talking to you. Guys, man, woman, if you won't take action, who will? Who? When a foreigner is trying to make a fucking difference and you're sitting on your ass drinking beer and jerking each other off watching sports, do you not see a fucking problem?
He believes that the death penalty is wrong, and there's probably a lot of people that do, but I feel it's not his right to be able to take that away from us.
Guys, he's talking about how it's not his right. Right? The prosecutor has no right to take it away. It's this guy, I gotta disagree. This guy's wrong. It's not the prosecutor's right. It's not the prosecutor's job. It's not this guy's right. That's not even the family's right. It's not the family's job. Death penalty has to exist and has to be carried out for two reasons. Number one, to equalize the scale, to bring justice, so you avoid injustice, right? When a murderer lives, that's injustice. Equalize the scale, that's number one. Number two, the person that we are talking about, right? Somebody that did a wicked deed, somebody that did an evil thing. Should they be allowed back into society? Will they make society better or worse?
He believes that the death penalty is wrong, and there's probably a lot of people that do, but I feel it's not his right to be able to take that away from us.
The reason that many of your states remove capital punishment is so corrupt prosecutors, corrupt judges, corrupt mayors, corrupt governors, corrupt senators, corrupt congressmen can make money from taxpayer money being funneled into their pockets through prison systems. Guys, do you understand that America, one country, has 25% of world's prisoners? You have more prisoners than Russia. You have more prisoners than China. I'm not talking about concentration camps, or I understand, like I find differences between prison and concentration camp. China has, if we look at concentration camps, then yes, China has more. Guys, what are you doing? Why are you allowing your corrupt government to put people in prison that, first of all, shouldn't be there at all, and second, shouldn't be there at all? What is the purpose of a prison? To what? To rehabilitate somebody? To fix their mind? To fix their thinking? Have you ever been to prison? Because 25% of Americans will get arrested in their lifetime. 25% of you Americans will go to jail. 25% of you. That means every fourth. If 1,000 people see this video, that means 250 people been to prison. Guys, I mean, not to prison, but to jail. What are you doing? Why are you allowing this to happen? Wicked men need to be removed from society, and justice needs to be put on scale to equalize the scale. It's number one. Number two, I do not believe that wicked men should be in our society. Either capital punishment or send them to whatever country, if that wants to take them. If there is some country that wants to take, rapists, or I think rapists should be, capital punishment for rapists, but, somebody that's somebody that shouldn't be in our society, but death penalty is too much. Hey, you know what? Maybe there's a country that wants them.
Because he didn't lose nobody. We did.
There's never truly justice, because justice would be getting the kids back. For me, it's not about vengeance. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. The law states we, the people, can decide if there's capital punishment, and that's being taken away. And that's not fair.
I have had a tortured relationship with the death penalty. I found myself completely uncomfortable with the power that I have as the elected prosecutor.
Really? He's uncomfortable with the power that he has. Are you uncomfortable with the paycheck also? I mean, how much money is he making? I mean, this guy's making great money. He's not making $36,000 a year like majority of Americans. This guy is making great money. All of a sudden, he decides, oh, I am uncomfortable with death penalty. I'm uncomfortable. Well, you're certainly comfortable cashing that giant fucking check.
When people say, well, the government has decided to seek the death penalty.
No. Do you see what this guy's thinking? He is saying the government has decided to seek the death penalty. No, it's not the government. The society. Unfortunately, this fucking piece of shit doesn't see himself as a societal representative. He sees himself as the government. Look, examine his words. Examine his thinking. Examine his words. What is he saying? The government? Is he the government? The government has decided. He, a prosecutor, a fucking prosecutor, somebody that's on one of the lowest ranks of the government. Not a city councilman, not a mayor, not a governor, not a congressman, a fucking prosecutor. This piece of shit prosecutor. I am the government. the government, the government, has decided. Really? Wow, because if I understand correctly, you're supposed to be representing the society, people, regular ass motherfuckers that are forced to give you money for your house, for your boat.
What that means is some guy, in this case me, lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, thinking, should I seek the death penalty or shouldn't I?
If you have trouble, if that is something that keeps you awake at night, then maybe this job isn't for you. Maybe in good conscience, not like a piece of shit you are, but a good conscious man, a man of honor, a man of integrity, you should come up forward and say, I'm sorry. I cannot accept this giant paycheck. I cannot perform. I cannot do what I'm paid to do. No, what does this piece of shit do? No. He takes the paycheck. He gets that big ass paycheck. He buys all the nice things that he wants to buy. Does he have your interest in his mind? The people's interest. Does he have it? No. He fucking doesn't. Because he's the government. Almighty, all-powerful government. Jesus Christ. I didn't expect this video to be so intense.
The death penalty is used as leverage, as a bargaining chip.
I'm sorry,
say,
what?
Listen, if you'll plead guilty to life in prison, we won't seek the death penalty. We won't kill you if you don't make us prove the allegations that we're making against you. That's a huge moral issue, in my mind.
Do you have a moral opposition to capital punishment itself?
Do I think that it is immoral for the government to...
So what you are saying, prosecutor, is that you are so shit at your job that you cannot prove that this guy murdered those two people. Well, if you are so shit, why the fuck are you taking the money from the people? Why are you taking our money? Return that boat. Return that house. Return the jewelry. Return all the toys that you bought. No? You don't want to say goodbye to your toys? So, you sit over here? I don't know. I am lying awake at night in my comfortable, expensive bed, thinking, what should I do? Really? Let me ask you something else. When you're lying in that comfortable bed of yours, and you are putting someone in prison for exercising their First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, do you lie in bed comfortably, sleeping? Or do you also can't sleep at night, thinking to yourself, I know this person, was smoking marijuana. Should I put him in prison for 7 years or no? Well, who am I kidding? Let's put him in prison because I'm gonna make money. I know that this person had a gun without slurping governor off for a permission slip. Should I put him in prison for 5 to 7, 10 years? Well, why the hell not? I'm making money. But all of a sudden, he grows a conscience. When he is violating constitutional rights, Americans' constitutional rights, every single fucking day, left, right, and center, without even thinking about it, he's perfectly fine with that. But when it's death penalty, oh no, there's a murder. I don't know what to do. Why are you paying him? Why have you, Americans, why haven't you brought him to justice? Why haven't you prosecuted him for corruption? Why?
Against you. That's a huge moral issue, in my mind.
Do you have a moral opposition to capital punishment itself?
Do I think that it is immoral for the government to kill someone?
You're not the government. You are not the fucking government. You are a people representative. Jesus fucking Christ. You are what's the fiduciary? Fiduciary, that's a verb, right? But what's the noun for fiduciary? Somebody can put in the comment section. That'd be great. You have a fiduciary obligation to the society, to people that are forced to pay you. You're not the fucking government. You're not God.
I don't think we have enough minutes on this program to delve into that.
I mean, it's a very simple question that's at the core of this issue. Do you have a moral opposition to capital punishment?
I believe that my stance as a pro-life person on the abortion issue aligns with my stance that I'm against the death penalty. And I believe that it's up to God to decide when we die.
Jesus fucking Christ. What a fucking AIDS-riddled, shit-covered asshole. Really, it's for God to decide when we die. What about those two people that were murdered by that piece of shit that's now rotting in prison, wasting taxpayers' money? Was it God that decided that they needed to die? Well, if it was the God that decided that they needed to die, well, maybe that person shouldn't be in prison. I mean, he was only carrying out God's will. Right? Fucking piece of shit. I'll turn on my Christian. Let me put on my Christianity hat. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's the. Let me see. Oh, all right, that's the right hat. That was the Catholic child molester hat. Gotta keep that one around just in case I'm making video about them. Okay. Let's look at it from Christian perspective. When the child is in the womb, has he committed any wicked deeds? Is that child evil? Has he done anything evil? No, he hasn't. So you shouldn't kill him. Has that person that killed those two people committed evil deeds? Has he committed evil stuff? Has he done wicked things? Has he murdered two people? Is the answer yes? Then what the fuck is your problem? I wouldn't trust this guy with anything. If he is too corrupt, too cowardly, too wicked, too evil to carry out justice, but not too corrupt, too evil. I'm sorry, he is too corrupt, too evil. Still taking people's paychecks. Still taking the paycheck. Violating constitutional rights left, right, and center. Up to God to decide. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit.
It's the death penalty. And I believe that it's up to God to decide when we die.
What about the victims' families who want to seek the death penalty, who were told initially that the state would seek the death penalty, and now they feel like the rug has been pulled out from underneath them?
My heart aches for every victim. The criminal justice system doesn't have the capacity to heal hearts and wounded souls.
Does it have capacity to carry out justice?
And so what I say to all victims of crime is, if you choose to try to heal from this trauma that's been done to you, please find a way to do so outside the criminal justice system. Your healing will be so much more complete if you seek healing elsewhere.
Utah is one of the most Republican states in the nation.
That's why I think the interviewer asked a very, very poor question. The question is not about the family. It's not the family. Let's pretend those two dead people, right, are there, like, you know, in the room as, you know, let's say ghosts or something, right? And what would they be saying? Hey, guys, hello, guys. I know you have a debate about your feelings and stuff, and about how sad you are that we are gone. Okay, cool. I understand. We were such awesome people, and you miss us a lot. I understand. But we're dead. Okay, we two of us dead. This whole thing is kind of about us that murdered people, not the people whose feelings are hurt.
And abolishing the death penalty isn't exactly a winning issue here. The state even brought back firing squads in 2015, but the debate is shifting.
I'm not sure that it's really a conservative virtue to say that the government should be killing someone.
Shows body camera video of one of their police officers shooting and killing a teen boy. It happened back in August of last year. A high-speed chase led to 15-year-old Carmen Spencer Mendez running from police. It happened in an orchard east of Ceres. The officer fires more than a dozen rounds before telling the boy to get on the ground. Ceres PD has said the teen had a handgun and other firearms were found in his car. The police department is declining to comment tonight, saying the case is under investigation by the district attorney's office.
For more than 2.5 years, the wire service Reuters has been trying to find out what happened to their two staff members on this street in the suburb of New Baghdad. WikiLeaks says this is what happened.
Yep, he's got a weapon too. Hotel 26, Crazy Horse 18, have 5 to 6 individuals with AK-47s. We got RPG. All right, we got a guy with
The voice on the tape, presumably a member of the military, says there has been shooting in the area and receives permission to open fire.
light them all up. Come on, fire. Hey, Roger. Keep shooting. God damn it, Kyle. All right. I hit him by head. Oh, yeah, look at those dead bastards. Nice. 2-6, Crazy.
From a distance, you hear the voices on the tape watch as the wounded try to crawl to help. But when help arrives...
Come on, let us shoot.
You're engaged.
1-8, engage. Clear. Come on. Clear. Oh, yeah, look at that, right through the windshield. We call frequency. I just drove over a body. Yeah.
Viper 5, 2 report free change zone 4.
Even from high above, the harsh reality becomes evident as the troops that arrive find two children wounded. You see them carry their small bodies and call for help.
Hey, I need to get the brass to drop ramps. I got a wounded girl. We need to take the rest of mile.
The response on the tape...
Oh, it's their fault for bringing their kids to a battle. That's right.
Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Dan McKay is a Republican state senator. He's co-sponsoring a bill that would repeal the death penalty and replace it with a sentence of 45 years to life.
Really? Really? Look at this. Look at this. Again, look at this piece of shit. State senator. Guys, how much money do you think he's making? How much money do you think he's making? Okay? No, not, I'm sorry. Not his paycheck. I'm not talking about how much his paycheck is. How much money is he really making? You know what I'm talking about, right? All that extracurricular activity. Oh yeah, that type of stuff. How much money is he making? A lot of fucking money. And then on top of that, he's taking money from you, the taxpayers. And this piece of shit, this fucking cunt, Jesus fucking Christ. How, Americans, how do you allow this to happen? Why does he still make money? Why? How do you allow this corrupt person, this corrupt individual, be in your government body?
Virtue to say that the government should be killing someone.
Really? Really? Because your government has no problem killing people. Do you want to go, how back to history do you want to go? You know what, let's start from here and then go back in time. Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria. I'm gonna say Africa just because there's so many fucking countries. Literally, we would be here for a very long time. American government that has killed people in Africa. Every single country in South America and Central America, Asia, American government has no problem killing people left, right, and center. When your police is killing people left, right, and fucking center without any justice, without zero justice, you have no problem. The police can go out and kill innocent people. That's not a problem. He's okay with that. But when it comes to him making a decision, growing a pair of balls, having integrity and honor to say, you know what? I think wicked people need to be removed from society. I think wicked people need to face capital punishment. Guys, what are you doing? Tolerating this piece of shit. Remove him. Get him out. Not by protesting. I mean, get him out. Your government has no problem murdering innocent people in America, murdering innocent people around the world. Do not fucking lie to me that all of a sudden government shouldn't be killing people when you have been doing it for ungodly amount of time.
Dan McKay is a Republican state senator. He's co-sponsoring a bill that would repeal the death penalty and replace it with a sentence of 45 years to life.
Really? 45 years to life. Is it so these prisons and this guy, I would love to see this guy's this investment portfolio. I wonder if he has financial benefits from prisons or from what was it, justice systems, prison complex. We're gonna go with that one, okay? I wonder if he's making money because a lot of fucking prosecutors do, a lot of fucking judges do, a lot of fucking congressmen do. A lot of them have financial benefit from putting people in prison.
26 states no longer use capital punishment. If Utah joins them, it would be the first conservative state to do so in nearly 50 years.
26 states that have corrupt, evil people running amok, doing whatever the fuck you want. 26 states have people who are too weak, too cowardly to take action. 26 states. You want to look at that map? If you live in that state, that's you.
Do you think there's a particular way to convince Republicans to repeal the death penalty as opposed to Democrats?
I think Republicans are definitely more focused on the fiscal issues and the difficulties that come as a result of the appeals process. And on average, it's taking between 20, 25 years, maybe 30. I don't think people realize how long it takes for the death penalty to be carried out versus life without parole or even life with 45 years. These people will go on and die in ignominy where they belong.
Utah lawmakers have tried unsuccessfully to repeal the death penalty before.
He's talking about, somebody that's been found guilty has an appeal. Well, this is gonna be a wild one. Speed it up. You wanna appeal? Not a problem. I will prioritize. Guys, how many? Unfortunately, many of you don't know how justice system works in America. I had the unfortunate experience of going through that shit. American justice system is extremely corrupt. No, it's not corrupt. It is extremely corrupt. Extremely corrupt. Extremely corrupt. The reason it's taken 20, 30 years is because the process is purposefully being slowed down so these people could be in prison for a very long time without them, because if they die, you can't make money from them. But if they're alive, you can make money, $100,000, $200,000 a year. How many of you average ass motherfuckers, how many of you have somebody spending $100,000 per one person on you? Not per family, per person. Well, that's because that's what the prisoners get, $100,000 or more per person a year. Most of you are making $3,000 a month, $36,000 a year. The government spends 3 times more on one prisoner than you make in an entire year. Think about that one. When I say American government is corrupt, when I say justice system is corrupt, I don't just say it's corrupt. It is extremely corrupt.
Utah lawmakers have tried unsuccessfully to repeal the death penalty before, but the cost of carrying out a death sentence has gone way up.
It costs 17 cents. 17 cents, 9 mil round. That's it, 17 cents. But because your corrupt government, extremely corrupt government, is doing everything they can so they can milk that money from the taxpayers' pockets into their own pockets or into their friends and family businesses' pockets. That's why it's expensive. It's not expensive, it's 17 cents. And a couple of volunteers. Guys, how many of you would volunteer to carry out capital punishment? You got to dispose of the body. How many of you would volunteer to, you can give the body to the family so they can bury it, or you can, dispose of it. How many of you would volunteer helping dispose of that body? Right here, I would. I would do it for free. In fact, I'll bring my own gun, I'll bring my own shovel, I'll bring my own bullet. It's going to cost taxpayers zero money.
Giving Republicans in the State House a more practical argument. Studies consistently show the death penalty costs taxpayers more than life in prison. Between 1997 and 2016, Utah spent roughly $40 million on death penalty cases that resulted in just 2 death sentences.
Think about that one. This is how corrupt your government is. This is how corrupt they are. This is how corrupt. Do you know why they are corrupt? Do you know why your government is wicked and evil? Because you allow it. Because you are too busy watching sports, watching TV, drinking beer, instead of sacrificing yourself. Instead of sacrificing your time, instead of sacrificing your money to remove wicked, corrupt people from the body of government. That's $40 million. Guys, this is not just $40 million. That's $40 million away from roads. That's $40 million away from clinics or hospitals, like medical stuff, right? That's $40 million away from infrastructure. That's $40 million away from building stuff, building better communities. Do you know where that money went? Do you understand that, do you know the profit margin on that $40 million? Guys, you're shooting somebody. You're executing somebody. Like, you're not sending a rocket in outer space. $40 million. How much of that is actual cost and how much of that is profit? Is it 1% cost? Or, I'm sorry, 0.01% cost? Couple of $100, maybe a couple of $1,000, and the rest of it is just getting funneled into corporate pockets that your government has stakes in, owns through other companies, through family, through friends, through cousins.
That resulted in just 2 death sentences.
It's a lie. The death penalty and its function does not fulfill its intended purpose.
What is the intended purpose of death penalty? I would ask that question. What is the intended purpose? Is it not to carry out justice, equalize the scale, remove wicked men from society? Is it not that? Oh, it's not that because you turned it into something else so you can make money. Of course.
We've all kind of as a society watched how this works, where the victims largely are forgotten in the process. More times than not, they're going to be drugged through a long process and the person is going to die in prison of their own accord.
Because you're going to be making money on every step of the way.
One of the strongest voices for repealing the death penalty in Utah is herself a relative of a murder victim.
This is a picture of her in 1980, and she's so much fun. You can see her personality in her face.
Sharon Wright Weeks' older sister Brenda and niece Erica were murdered in 1984.
She had just turned a year in this picture. She was 15 months old when she was murdered.
Brenda's husband's brothers, Ron and Dan Lafferty, were part of an extremist Mormon cult and claimed to have had a revelation from God to kill them. Weeks was 15 at the time.
In the middle of the early morning hours, my mom came downstairs to my sister Jeanette in my bedroom, and she turned the light on and asked me if I was awake. And then I heard this horrible sound, and I realized that it was my dad, and that he was screaming and crying at the same time. My parents just grabbed us and hugged us, and we went into the living room together as a family, and we knelt down in prayer and asked for help.
The two brothers were eventually convicted. Dan Lafferty got life in prison. Ron Lafferty got the death penalty.
How did you feel when Ron Lafferty was sentenced to death?
I thought it was a just sentence.
What changed your mind?
The fact that it didn't happen. Ron Lafferty committed the murders in 1984. He died of natural causes on November 11th, 2019.
This happened because your government allowed this to happen, because every single day that he was in prison, somebody was making money from it through funneling taxpayers' money into personal pockets.
This has been my entire adult life. I was drugged right along with him through the appellate process that didn't ever reveal any kind of justice. It was just open-ended. You're shackled to the person who murdered your loved ones.
The case became a media spectacle.
Ron and his brother Dan claimed heavenly revelation as reason for slashing the throats of their sister-in-law and her baby.
The slow torture of showing up at court through appeals and even a retrial turned Weeks against the death penalty. She's now working with lawmakers to repeal it in Utah.
So she's against death penalty because the corrupt, wicked government, your government, is refusing to carry out the death penalty. If the death penalty has been, assigned, you don't need to wait days, weeks. How long does it take to carry out, to pull a trigger? 1 second? The reason that this woman has had such a horrific process, and she was, emotionally and mentally tortured for many, many years, is because corrupt government that you allow to exist, that you refuse to remove, has forced this upon her.
Utah.
Would you support capital punishment if it did happen quicker?
Absolutely. The death penalty is a life sentence that costs a lot of extra money and gives a lot of publicity to a murderer. It makes them famous.
If I was covering this story, if I was a reporter, a journalist, I wouldn't say their names. I would never even, I wouldn't even, show their pictures, nothing.
And it wouldn't have been this way if he had gotten life in prison.
A lot of people don't even know there were two men that killed my sister, because you don't even hear about the one that's just spending his life in prison because we never speak his name. I absolutely do not fault anybody for wanting a death penalty.
Some of us been here for over 3 years.
Mm-hmm. It's lasted, though.
Yeah.
I was looking at Breezy's Facebook. Riley, he was just saying how much he loved her and how much he was her world, and it was really neat, actually. I'll have to show it to you. This mine shaft represents a place to come for the kids. It's a central point that we can honor them and respect them.
Talk to them?
Mm-hmm.
He talks to them.
He don't answer, though.
This video isn't about death penalty. It's not. The reason I made this video and why I'm sad that Vice failed to make a video properly on this topic, on this situation. This video is not about death penalty. This video is about justice. And if justice is equivalent to death penalty, you carry out the justice. You do not prolong the justice. This video is about equalizing the scale and looking at the victims of wicked actions and equalizing the scale for them and then for society.
I want to extend a gift to the next family that they won't even understand they've been given. Being able to put the person that so heinously took their loved ones' lives in prison, have them fade into obscurity and never speak their name again.
Guys, Americans, when will you make a difference here? When will you start acting for justice? How long will you let your corrupt government, people in position of power, in position of government, how long will you let them act evil, wickedly? How long will you take these corrupt individuals? What will it take in the world, in your life? Where will it take? What has to happen for you to remove corrupt and evil individuals from government? What do you have to do? Explain to me what has to happen?